Peddlers of the Green New Deal know that the only way for their radical agenda to become reality is if Americans buy into the wildest claims of climate extremists. But panics over looming environmental and climate apocalypse have been with us for a long time. Here are the top 3 most hysterical environmentalist claims in modern history. Number 1. Air pollution will be so bad, city dwellers will have to wear gas masks. A grand prediction on Earth Day 1970 was that the air pollution problem common to many American cities would continue to get exponentially worse without widespread government control of the American way of life. One particularly extreme claim came from the January 1970 edition of Life magazine, as quoted by Reason. Quote, "Scientists have solid experimental and theoretical evidence to support the following predictions. In a decade, urban dwellers will have to wear gas masks to survive air pollution, and by 1985, air pollution will have reduced the amount of sunlight reaching Earth by 1/2. Such remarkable accuracy from these all-knowing scientists. This didn't happen, in part due to federal, state, and local restrictions on emissions, and in part due to Americans operating in a free society of increasing prosperity choosing to clean up their cities. Number 2. Entire nations could be wiped out by 1999. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a self-avowed socialist, recently claimed that the world would end in 12 years if we don't radically transform our economy to combat climate change. The decade-long window of pronounced doom seems to be a favorite among climate alarmists. A recently resurfaced report from the Associated Press shows how an almost identical but more precise prediction was once made by a high-ranking United Nations official in 1989. AP reported, quote, "A senior UN environmental official says entire nations could be wiped off the face of the earth by rising sea levels if the global warming trend is not reversed by the year 2000. Noel Brown, director of the New York office of the UN Environment Program, claimed in 1989 that human beings had a mere 10 years to stop the effects of global warming. Brown pronounced doom for Canada and the United States, where the entire East Coast would be flooded and conditions would be like the 1930s Dust Bowl. But fear not! Brown did offer hope to humanity. He also predicted that the Soviet Union might produce bumper crops during this time. Number 3. Ice caps will melt away. Predictions about the polar ice caps melting have been common. Dramatic pictures of polar bears floating on tiny icebergs have been some of the iconic images of the climate change movement. Former Vice President Al Gore said at a conference in 2009,
"Some of the models suggest to Dr. Maslowski that there is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
In 2014, the ice caps were still there. In fact, it's 2019 and the ice caps are still there. Not only have the ice caps survived these predictions of doom, but they have occasionally grown in size. Between 2012 and 2016, Arctic ice increased from an average of 2.2 million square miles to 3.3 million square miles, according to the Telegraph. If there's a lesson to be learned from all these predictions, it's not that scientists are always wrong or that we shouldn't be good stewards of the environment. Instead, we should treat extreme predictions with skepticism, especially if they mean upending our way of life and destroying the freedom that allows us to adapt to a changing world far better than socialism or top-down government control.